Hello and welcome to Iridium Rock and Metal Reviews. And today we're going to carry on with the 90s ballads part 2. And I think this is going to be the last one. So welcome to Darren and Mark. How you doing, guys?
Hey guys.
Hi guys.
Cool. So we're going to be a bit different today. I've been volunteered to go first, so I'm all right with that. So I get first choice. So I don't mind that at all. And then we're going to go Darren and then Mark. All right. So 90s ballads. I'll fire up straight away with a band called Pretty Maids, Danish band. Obviously, I mean, they're still going now. Ronnie Atkins is the lead singer. He sadly is ill at the moment, battling some cancer at the moment, but hopefully he's going to be all right. But back then, they were sort of competing with all these LA bands. Well, maybe not 1990 when this came out, but before that, they was doing a pretty good job at competing with those bands during the 80s. And this was off the Jump the Gun album, and it's called Savage Heart. A brilliant song, loads of atmosphere. I think the song is actually about loss, so it's quite a sad song, but it's got a real big sound to it. You know, like could have been a hit. Probably one of the best songs off the album. I mean, my favourite album for them was in the 80s. This was still a really good album, but not quite hitting the peaks of that 80s album before it, which was Future World. But still a great effort, and Savage Heart is a brilliant song. It's actually got like a choir coming in at the end. It sounded so big, this song. Yeah. Loads of atmosphere, a great song, Savage Heart. That's my first choice.
Yeah, good choice. I love a bit of Pretty Maids, so great way to start the new installment of this series. Great Definitely. Choice. Okay. I'm gonna go Cheap Trick, and I'm gonna go for a song from 1990 called Wherever Would I Be. It's from their 11th studio album called Busted, and this is, I think I heard this song for the first time about 2 years ago. And again, I've told you guys before, when my mates come over, we sit around the table and I played this one. And it's just got this great chorus, Robin Sanders' vocals, just absolutely spectacular. I think this is the album, I think Busted, Mark will probably know better, I think Busted is the album after The Flame, the one that The Flame was on. So I think it came after that. So they were kind of riding the success of that. They'd come back with that particular album. I forget the name of it, of that album that The Flame was on, Mark, but with Busted they came back with kind of riding that success a little bit, and this was a song on it. Wasn't big in the charts, but it did get the whole production. It got a video and stuff behind it, and just great vocals, great song, great ballad.
Cool.
That's my first choice.
Good one.
Okay, I'm going back to Wasp. From 1992, The Crimson Idol. The song is called The Idol. This song features my all-time favorite guitar solo. Most people would think I'd pick something from Tony Iommi or Akira Takasaki, but the guitar solo in this was done by the late Bob Kulick, brother of Bruce Kulick, who passed away this past May, unfortunately. This is the most spine-tingling guitar solo I've ever heard in my life.
Wow.
He goes into a solo, and then the song goes back into the chorus, and then he goes into another extended solo toward the end of the song. If you haven't heard it, you need to hear the unedited version. They released the radio version that didn't have the long extended solos in it, but you definitely need to check out the original uncut version. It's just spine tingling, is the only way I can think to describe it.
Well, man, it must well.
Cool. I missed what year that was. What?
92.
What year was that?
1992.
Well, man, I mean, for you to say the best guitar, your favourite guitar solo, I'm going to have to give that a listen straight after. And I lost track of Wasp a little bit in the 90s. I mean, I was into them in the 80s, and I lost track a little bit after that. So, I mean, I will have to go back. I mean, I have heard some of the 90s stuff, but I haven't listened to it intently, if you know what I mean. So maybe I should.
You may have heard this song and just don't realize it, but you definitely need to hear it if you haven't heard it.
Cool. Definitely do that, mate.
Yeah,
Definitely
cool.
do that. Looking forward to that. So, right, I'm next tonight. So, I'm going to go Metallica now. 1991. Nothing Else Matters. Big hit. Complete different direction, obviously. For Metallica, they went from a thrash band basically, and then they've taken a lot of stick for what they became in the 90s. I know from the diehard fans, if you like. I mean, I loved the Black Album. I thought it was superb. The production, massive sound. The guitars were huge. Everything was amazing about this album. Nothing Else Matters was obviously the ballad. It's probably the song that most of the Metallica fans have got the ump with, because it was the time when they really, they really changed. But I love it. It's got some brilliant vocals from James Hetfield, not known for his brilliant vocals, but I think he does a really good job on this song. Excellent guitar solo, builds up the song, as you know. Amazing. And this was probably my favourite album at the time. I was a huge Metallica fan at the time. Not so much now, as big as I was, but I still like them. But I thought it was a great album and a great single. Nothing Else Matters. Brilliant song.
I saw a great choice. I saw Metallica play last year. There's a big music venue here, outdoor venue called Slane Castle, and I saw them play there last year. And when they played that song, Lee, you had 80, 90,000 people just in the palm of their hand, just like that. Yeah. I mean, it was going from everyone messing and fighting and stuff from previous songs, just joking, to everyone just standing there, just watching that song and listening to him sing it. Great choice.
No, they are good. I mean,
okay.
Go on. Sorry, mate. Yeah, go
on. Okay, so I'll go for my second choice. I'm going to go 1996. I'm going to go a band we've discussed on one of these videos before. Previously, we've done an album by them. Def Leppard, When Love and Hate Collide. Now, in the 90s, for me, Def Leppard, I think their heads were spinning. They didn't know what was right and what was wrong and what to do. I think with the Adrenalize album and stuff in 92 and then coming on to this, I think with all that, we've said this on these videos before, with grunge and stuff, I don't think Leppard knew what they were doing. They were still producing great material, but their heads were spinning after coming off the back of such success in the late 80s to the bombshell of grunge in the 90s. But still, with all of that said, they were delivering pretty cool output. And When Love and Hate Collide for me is a pretty special one, because I can remember it from having a few snogs at teenage discos to this. It was that slow down song. You couldn't wait until 96, 97 until Def Leppard came on, When Love and Hate Collide, because you knew you were going to get a dance and you knew you were going to get a kiss. So happy days, When Love and Hate Collide. That's my second choice.
I mean, that was quite a big sounding song. That could have been on one of their earlier albums. That's actual song, couldn't it? That could have been on an 80s Def Leppard album. That was a real catchy melodic one. That one, really good song. I like that one.
I think it was demoed. I think it was demoed in the late 80s. So you're right in your observation there, because I think it was demoed in the late 80s, very early 90s. So it does have that sound.
Cool. Was that on the Retroactive album?
Yeah, it was on the one. It was on the 90. It was 95, wasn't it? That was the one after Adrenalize. I think that was the name.
Swang. Might have been Swang.
Not too sure then.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that in years, but cool. All right, for my number two, I'm going with one I know neither one of you've heard. It's another Tony Martin project. This one was a Yugoslavian guitarist named, I don't know if he pronounced his name, Misha Calvin. The album's called Evolution. The song is called Put a Little Faith in Me. As usual, Tony Martin's vocals are just stellar. When I got married back in 2004, I made a mix CD that we played at the reception, and this is one of the songs that I had on it. And I'd be willing to bet that's probably the only time in history Tony Martin has ever been played at a wedding.
I bet you were the only one who knew it as well. I bet you were the only one who knew the song as well. I bet you were.
Fact.
Great song. You need to listen to it. Put a little faith in me.
No, good
Mark, I have to have a conversation with you offline. I'm getting married this year, and I'm putting together playlists for the wedding for the band and stuff. I gotta find out from you.
I'm your guy.
All right, cool.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well, my third pick is from a band that I think we've had 2 or 3 choices through the 80s. I might have even had one in the 90s, but it's one of my favourite bands, Tesla. And they brought out an excellent album, Psychotic Supper, in 91, and a song called What You Give was on that, and it's a fantastic song. Acoustic led, I think it's quite a long song. As far as I can remember, it's 5 or 6 minutes long. Quite a long song. Jeff Keith, vocalist, he's just amazing, man. And this third album, it would have been huge. Like we've said so many times, talking about the 90s, it would have been a huge album. But 91, man, what a difficult time. And it was it was just like their last two albums. It was a rocker. It was melodic, heavy rock. It wasn't going to do anything in chart-wise, you know. It was just a really bad time for the band. I was trying to look up what it was about, and apparently Jeff Keith, the singer, said it was about his dog that he had to put to sleep, it was like like an ode to his dog, if you like, which I thought was quite cool, man. I love animals. They're better than human beings. Miles more better.
Man, you love Dio the singer, you love Dio your dog, so we know that.
Oh yeah, man. But Tesla, what a great band. They've got to have a mention again. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, good choice. Good choice. Okay. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do a mark on it.
Nice.
I'm gonna go extreme. I'm gonna go more than words. And I know somebody said this in the comments from our last video, but extreme were always on my list anyway. On my channel, Sleep Saturday, I've done a whole video on that one song, so I'm not nicking it from the person in the comments. I do love that song. I have it. I've done a video on it. Gary Sharon, Nuno Betancourt, what a great partnership they were at the time. Just real heartfelt song, proper love song, and an album that probably didn't have a lot of them. And I think that Gary went on he did sing for a little while then with Van Halen, didn't he? I think he had a short period.
One album.
But this is where he's at this is where he's at the peak of his success. And I would say, if you want to see a really cool acoustic version of this song live, check out the Freddie Mercury tribute concert in '92. It was the early part of the day. Gary and Nuno sat on stage and just played it out, and again, like the last one, at the crowd in the palm of their hand. Just a great song, and props to the person who said it in the comments as well. I can't think of the name in the last video, but yeah, that one, extreme, more than words.
Oh, that must have just been hitting the 90s, mustn't it? Must have been really early. Was it 1990, 91?
91.
91, yeah.
91.
Yeah.
91, yeah.
Cool. Okay. He's going to get his album out. Look, he's getting another CD ready.
Of course he is.
All right. I'm going White Lion.
Oh, yeah.
The song's called You're All Deep from the Main Attraction album in 1991. They had a lot of great ballads, and this is another one that I had on my wedding CD, by the way. Love White Lion. They had a little bit of a splash, but they weren't near as big as they should have been. And again, they were kind of a victim of that early 90s. And then, of course, Vito Bratta, the guitarist, decided he just didn't want to do music anymore and disappeared, and really hadn't been seen in the last 30 years, basically. But great band, great song. Man,
I mean, that album, controversially, that album is my favourite. It's easily my favourite out of the White Lion album as well. What a huge sound on that album. A massive sound. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant album. I love that. I'm glad you got that one in. It's good. Okay. You're not. I don't know if I'm going to be pulled up on this one. That means I probably will be. If I'm thinking I will be, I reckon Mark might pull me up. I'm not sure. So, Black Sabbath, 1992, Dehumanizer. Too Late from that album. Ronnie James Dio. Do I get away with this one? I mean, I don't know.
That's definitely a power ballad. Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, it is very slow. It's very slow, the song. Dio, man, I mean, people sort of think about Dio. He was all about fantasy and rainbows, and a lot of it was a different meaning. It wasn't, you know, and in this one, it's about what I can make out. It's about being in a really dark place. And the way he uses the words, it make you think it was about like evil. That's what it sounds like when you first hear it. You think, is it about evil? Like, but it's not really. It's about being in a dark place and not being able to get out of it. Very, very cool hidden meanings in Dio's lyrics, as well as having probably the best voice in metal. You know, if you actually think about it, absolutely brilliant. Too Late is such a dynamic, you know, atmospheric song. I love everything he done with Sabbath, man. It's just brilliant. So I got away with that. Black Sabbath, Too Late. There you go.
Well, if you're in any way going to get pulled up on power ballads, I might as well just stop. Jesus. Good stuff. Sorry, Mark. I think you were going to say something on that song, right?
I was just going to say I never really thought of that song as a ballad, but it's definitely in a slower paced song. It's very heavy, but yeah, I guess it would qualify as a ballad.
Do you know what? Just to quickly go off the subject,
Cool.
I was thinking about this the other day. I think when you think about what is a ballad and what isn't a ballad, it depends who the band is. So you've got a band like, you know, a heavier band will do a slower song, and you'll think it's a ballad because it's that band. But another band who's a softer, more melodic band would do that song, and it wouldn't be a ballad. I think it depends on the band as well. It really does, you know. But that's my opinion.
Good point.
No, I think you're right, because whenever I'm trying to pull these lists together, I'm almost trying to second guess what you guys think as well. And I think that's something that's crossed my mind too. Is it the band or is it the song? Or is it the song that that particular band are doing? You know, so yeah, it's a good point. Okay. All right, I'm going to go again. I've done another whole video on this song, so I thought I'd throw it in. I'm going 1994 again. Another one just reminds me of Young Love. I'm going Bon Jovi, and I'm going for the song Always, which is effectively hair metal does 90s ballad. 80s hair metal does 90s ballad. Again, love John and Richie together. I think they're great. I know Richie's left now a few years, but back in the 80s and into the 90s, particularly writing ballads like this, John and Richie were great together, and good team. And Always for me is just it's a 90s ballad. So I'm going with that from Bon Jovi.
I like it, man. It's a good song. It's a shame you can't write them anymore. You know, anything like that, really. But there you go. It's a good song, man. Very good choice.
Great.
All
Okay.
right. My next one, I'm going Queensryche from the Promised Land album in 1994. The song is called Someone Else. This is probably my favorite Queensryche ballad, and in my mind, this is the last great Queensryche album.
Yeah.
With Jeff Tate. After that album, they just kind of went off the rails. Don't really know where their head was at, but after that album, they went downhill a lot, in my opinion. But anyway, the song "Someone Else." There's actually two versions of this song. The second was an electrified, heavier version of it, but to me, it's much better song as the piano ballad with just Jeff Tate singing without the full band. Very, very, very powerful song as a piano ballad, but when they electrified it, it just kind of became another, you know, mid-tempo song. But anyway, love that.
Would you say Queensryche are in your top 5 bands of all time, Mark?
Probably not top 5, but definitely in top 10. Maybe top 7, 8. I'd have to think about it. There's 5 other that I couldn't push back, but I love them
up there
today, and I love what they're doing now. But yeah, I love them.
I think they are mine. I think that'd be in my top 5. I believe. I mean, when you were saying earlier on, Darren, about bands not knowing what to do in the 90s, Queensryche were, what they did after that album for 4 or 5, maybe more albums, was just like they didn't know what to do, mate. It was ridiculous. Yeah. You know, there was nothing like the band they started out as.
I did. Yeah, I think you're right, and that's what I was trying to say about Leppard. I think it was the same thing. I think their heads were spinning. They didn't know what happened to them, and they were just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck. But was what it was.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, I'm going even heavier now. So, a band called Down. Don't know if you guys have heard of them. So they're, and I know you'll probably think this is ridiculous because they can't make a ballad, but a band called Pantera, who were a thrash band, obviously. Phil Anselmo is the lead singer. He created this band called Down, and they're like a southern, well, basically southern metal. But they brought a song out on their debut album in 1995 called Stone the Crow. And it's very southern influenced. He's quite heavy in the chorus, but I would, yet again, it's one of them ones. If this was I don't know, another band did this song, you would go, how can that be a ballad? But as far as Down is concerned, it was definitely the ballad of the album. Subject matter, very, well, it was across the album, really. It touched on depression and trying to change and get out of it, and you can't, that sort of thing. But it's a great song, very atmospheric again, and it's got some real heavy parts, I must admit. But I would see it as the ballad of the album. By the way, I'm not reaching here because I've got lots of other choices. I just want to say the good ones. But I don't know if any of you have heard that.
I'm looking forward to hearing that. No.
Well, you can check it out on the Spotify list, and you can message me privately and tell me I'm an idiot if you want, if you don't believe it. How's that?
No, looking forward to hearing it. I don't know if you guys done it when I was putting together my list. I had to keep referencing back to our Spotify list to see if it had already been done. So that's a good little kind of database for us now for these videos. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go 1992, and a band that I picked a super group that I picked in the last video. I'm going to pick another song by them. I know Mark was a fan of this super group. I'm going to go the Damn Yankees again, and I'm going to go Where You Going Now from 1992. Again, Tommy Shaw's vocals off the scale. Ted Nugent. Oh, brilliant, excellent, love that. Were you going to go for it again, or do you just happen to have that by your side?
I had it as a backup.
All right, okay, cool. Just Lee, I don't know if you listened to the last one, the last Spotify list, but I would say listen to the couple of albums Damn Yankees had. Just cool super group. There's no bullshit about them. It was just quite a cool project and some good songs. And Where You Going Now was a top 20 hit for them. So again, a ballad. So I think for me it's a ballad anyway. I think it's worth another mention, giving them another mention in one of these videos.
Yeah, I saw them back in '93. They were amazing. Nugent, as usual, was just the star of the show. Like we talked about last time, I'd love for them to do a new album, do another tour. If they can get Ted out of the woods long enough and get a tour together, that'd be awesome.
100%. Which all the way.
Good choice, man.
All right.
Lovely.
I feel a little bit better about this one now after some of Lee's picks here. I was kind of but I'm going Deep Purple from the Slaves and Masters album. This is the one album they did with Jolene Turner on vocals. Came out in 1990, and the song is called Truth Hurts. It's not a piano ballad, so it's not a real, kitschy kind of ballad, but compared to a couple of Lee's choices, this is a real ballad. I love that album. That's probably the most overlooked album in the Deep Purple catalog. A lot of people just don't even give it a chance because it had Jolene Turner. They think it's more of a Rainbow album than a Deep Purple, and that may be true. It sounds a lot like Rainbow for obvious reasons, but it was released as Deep Purple, and great album and great song.
Good one, man.
Cool.
I haven't heard that album. I love Jolene Turner as well, so I'm going to give that a listen.
You need to give it a listen.
Yeah. Okay. So this is definitely a ballad, I think. So I'm going back to Skid Row again. So on the Slave to the Grind album, which was a heavy album in '91, it was a heavy album. They did three. Oh, nice, yeah. What a classic album. Obviously, you had this one ready as well. I've chose Wasted Time, which is the closer of the album. I mean, there is another one on here as well that could be classed as a ballad, which I was thinking about, but Wasted Time is definitely one. And I mean, I did a track ranking on this album the other day, and it's a superb album. And considering all the heaviness going on this album, they had definitely two, possibly three ballads, but the ballads were definitely powerful. You know, they had a lot of guitar coming in, they built up and built up and built up, and finished with Sebastian Bach's vocals just reaching their heavens. What an amazing vocalist he was at the time. But Wasted Time, what a great closer. I do like it when an album closes on something, you know, a bit slower, a bit epic-y, you know. I do like that, and it was a great choice to close out with that. And their last brilliant album, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not really into their stuff now, so that was the last good album they did way back then, in my opinion. But there you go.
I didn't catch the year on that, Lee. What year was it?
91.
91.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought you were going to pick Quicksand Jesus.
Well, that's what. Yeah, I mean, I actually like Quicksand Jesus better. I think it's a better song. It's probably my favourite song off that album. Well, it is my favourite song off the album, but I don't know. It really does teeter again on the, because I was getting pulled so much on the ballads today. I thought I'd better go with the other one. There you go. Right.
All good, man.
Okay, Darren.
Okay, I've mentioned this guy before in one of these videos, but this one I think is a better song, and it's one that's quite close to me. So I'm going to throw it in. It's from 1990 from Don Henley, and it's called New York Minute. And I put this one in because personally, for me, it's quite close to me. I've had someone very close to me die of suicide, and the deep subject matter of this, with, you know, the opening lyric is Harry got up, dressed all in black, went down to the station and never came back, and just gets me there every time, man. I just think it's a great ballad. And Don obviously was in the Eagles. We've discussed this before. You guys, I think, like some of the Eagles stuff as well.
Yeah.
This is Don in the 90s. Wasn't a big hit on wasn't a big hit on the Billboard, but was a pretty decent hit on adult contemporary stations at the time. So I'm going to go New York Minute, and he does a great live version of it that he does with the Eagles at a gig from the early 2000s on YouTube, if you want to check that out.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, when I add it to whenever I go back to Kent with my missus, and we do that 6 hour each way job, and then we put my ballad list on, Spotify list, she's just like, everything that you choose is like, oh, that's great. Everything you choose, not mine. She loved your one, that one. She would love that one again, I'm telling you. Do you reckon you've got good taste?
Good!
Okay.
Cool. Brilliant.
All right, I'm going to another post-Journey band. Surely you'll know them. Hardline. Neil Sean and Dean Castronova were in this band. The album's called Double Eclipse. The song is called Change of Heart. This is probably the heaviest album that Neil Sean ever played on. Not this song in particular, but some of the songs on this album border on hard rock, metal. And when I say metal, I'm not talking Metallica. I'm talking more Van Halen-ish type stuff. Great album.
He definitely. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is that a good album? You always get sorry, I was going to say, you always get the impression, don't you, with Neil Sean, that he just wants to push it. He just wants to go. You know, let him off the reins and just let him.
Yeah,
let him do it. You're saying, Mark, kind of that album is that.
What's that?
Sorry, go ahead. I'm just saying, are you saying that this particular album is Neil Sean off the reins? He's just going for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I always thought he should have been in a metal band. I mean, he was that good. He was bred with the best of them. Yeah, he just, like I said,
yeah, agreed.
He kind of holds back, but yeah, he's good enough. He could be in just about any metal band out there.
Yeah. I was just about to say exactly the same thing as you. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to, you know that he wants to go for it. I mean, he sort of went for it on the last Journey album, didn't he?
Yeah.
To the fans' disappointment, you know, he sort of, he turned the guitar up a bit on that one. So yeah, he definitely on the Stars, the Hearing Aid song. I bet he loved that. Do you remember back then in the 80s? I bet he really went for it on the guitar then as well on that solo. brilliant guitarist, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last, I don't want to run out of time. The last thing I'll say about Neil Sean is that you remember hearing him in the 80s when Jonathan Cain and Steve Perry are writing Open Arms, and Neil Sean says, "Well, what the hell am I going to do?" You know. So, yeah. Anyway.
No, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So right, we've got 6.5 minutes left, so we've definitely got time for one more, and then we maybe get two in. So I'm going to go. I touched on this band, and we're just about to touch on this band in a show after this one. Ice Turf, got the T-shirt here. So a song called "Watching Over Me" from Something Wicked This Way Comes. A great song, very emotional. It's about, the guitarist wrote this about his mate that died in a motorbike accident, so it's quite a sad song. I think it's one of the most common Ice Turf songs. I think they always play it at their shows, I believe. Even though I've only been into Ice Turf for a short amount of time, they're a great band. They've been going a long time, but myself, they're new-ish to me. It's sort of like they do with their great songs. They mix acoustic with ballads in and out, making for an epic sound. You know, an absolutely fantastic song. One of my favourite from Ice Turf. So that's "Watching Over Me," a great song. One of Mark's favourite bands as well. There you go.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to go again. I'm not trying to plagiarize anyone in the comment section, but as we know, I've done videos about this band with Lee. I'm going Journey. I'm going 1996 from the Trial by Fire album, When You Love a Woman. Again, it was mentioned in the comment section from the last video, but I'm a big Journey fan, and I can't not be on a video with Lee and not mention Journey. So there you go. What a great cover! What a great cover that is as well.
I love that cover.
Yeah, it's brilliant cover. Yeah, just a great song. I know it all fell apart. You know, as soon as they get back together, it all falls apart again. But that album, probably a bit long, but that song was a Grammy. I think it was either Grammy nominated or Grammy winning, one or the other. So well, probably both if it won it. Song, and just brilliant. Perry comes back. Wasn't a big fan of his hair in that video, but overall, the song is great, and I think it's my close off song for this video.
I love that song, man. It's a good song.
I actually had Filthy Cries from that album. It's the one I would have brought up.
Oh man, you said about that album being long. I mean, that's what bands did when CDs were about. First of all, man, they just tried to cram as much music on there as possible, and you know, sometimes it suited it, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it was filled up with filler, wasn't it? And I prefer an album that's, you know, 40 minutes long.
I prefer a shorter album. I prefer a shorter album, Lee. I know you were saying on your Van Halen conversation last night that it was only 30 minutes long. That I know you were pretty cool video you done about the Van Halen '84 album.
Cheers.
That's a short album. I like a 30 to 40 minute album. I like it. I like a 40-minute album. So anything too long, I'm not a fan of. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead. I know we're nearly out of time.
No, that's okay. All right, I'm going to close out the 90s from an album from 1999. This band is called Drain, STH, which stands for Stockholm. This is an all-girl band, which is kind of unusual for me. But the album is called Freaks of Nature, 4 smoking hot Swedish chicks. The singer is actually Mrs. Tony Iommi. She married Tony shortly after this album, but I saw them. They opened for Black Sabbath in '99 when I saw them, and they just blew me away. I never knew girls could rock so hard. But anyway, the song is called "I See Right Through You." Awesome song, awesome band. I doubt you've heard of them or heard them, but check it out.
I'll be checking them out. What's the name of that? What was the name of the hair metal band in the 80s? The all-female hair metal band. They were actually pretty good when you saw them live. Vixen. Are they as hot as Vixen? Because the girls in Vixen were very hot.
I'd say they're pretty equal. Yeah. Pull up one of their videos. You'll see for yourself.
Nice.
All right. Cool. I'll check that out. That's pretty good. Yep. Great.
Remember, you're getting married soon, Darren. You need to stop all that. All right.
I'm allowed look.
All right, guys. Listen, that's brilliant.
Sorry. I was just going to say, we watched Fight Club a while ago. Don't tell me she wasn't looking at Brad Pitt.
Jason Momoa's my other half. She likes watching him. I know I look like him a little bit, you know what I mean, but not too much. There you go.
Oh, uncanny. It's uncanny. It's uncanny.
All right, thanks, guys. Listen, that was really, really funny, entertaining as usual. And I'm sure we're going to catch up and do something else very soon. You know, there's loads to talk about soon. And we maybe make our way all the way up. Maybe forget about the 90s now. We go the rest of it, maybe. I don't know, because that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Up for that, yep.
Definitely up for that. All right, thanks, guys. Cheers, and I'll see you again.